So this is the Sebastian Beach?
This is McLarty Treasure Museum. It's Sebastian Inlet is up there. You can see the inlet is right up here, about 2 miles.
So right on this exact site is where, when the 1715 fleet wrecked, this is where the survivors congregated and made them at
This was one of the salvage camps right here, right where we are standing. This is where it started. Kip Wagner was literally just walking on the beach when he found the coins. Didn't know what they were. He had a cabin. That's why they call it the cabin wreck, because he had his cabin here.
That's why they call it the cabin wreck.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But this is primarily where all the 1715 activity is, because this is where salvors have been able to go out.
Yeah.
The other stuff is
cool.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Did you get your metal detector? You all ready to go out and start?
Man, I tell you, this is the second time I've been here. This is the best museum in Florida.
Is that right?
Is it?
I think it is. I mean, it's just so much history here with, you know, going all the way back to Spain and how that impacted the...
Yeah, where are you from originally?
Montana.
Montana, wow.
But this museum, she and I have been here the second time. First time was about 15 years ago. It was great.
History.
You're not the guy that's looking for the treasure here, are you?
No.
They said the guy would deny it, and you said no real quick. Are you sure? You ain't got any secrets to tell?
No, I'm not sure.
All right.
On this page, as you can see, we have a bunch of the wrecks that were named, and they're called like the cabin wreck and the cannon wreck and all of that. Then over here, we've named them by the ship that went down. This is the Regal and the San Roman and the Carmen and the I can't even see it, Rosario, and so on. Those are the ships that are in this immediate area.
And they found those ships, so and they found
These are
proof
all
that that's the name of them ships.
Ships, yes.
Cool.
And then they've named them different wrecks, like Corrigan's wreck and stuff like that.
Ah.
This was the latest find that we're aware of, and it was found down in Fort Pierce.
In the ocean or just on the beach?
On the beach.
Cool.
So I'm on the McLarty Museum on the Treasure Coast, where a lot of the treasures have been found, and I found this gentleman who's going to tell me all about it. So tell me who you are and tell me about this treasure here.
Jess Snipshold, and I'm a fairly recent comer to Florida. But we always come over to the Treasure Coast area on the Barrier Island on the east coast of Florida on the Atlantic Ocean. And it got its name, the Treasure Coast, because way back in 1715, the Spanish king had ordered a lot of jewelry and gold and silver to be sent back to Spain to pay for a big war he was involved, and the dowry of his queen, who was an Italian princess. And they loaded all these ships up. There was about 11 or 12 of them. And they were headed back to Spain, all full of gold and coins and jewels, and all kinds of artifacts. And unfortunately, they left, and an early hurricane caught them off the east coast of Florida. And they all sank, and a lot of people died, and about 1,500 survivors, but about 1,500, I believe, died. And so over the years, it got forgotten. And back in the 40s, some people were looking for treasure because they'd find these pieces of 8 silver coins on the beach, and they knew it would be somewhere near here. They did a lot of research, and they found out the approximate location of where the ships were when the hurricane hit. So then in the 40s, modern divers and treasure recoverer trained people were able to discover a lot of these ships and what was left of the treasure that had not been recovered back in the early days. So, to show you how the treasure arrived in Florida, over here, from Spain, they always, following the trade winds, they would go over to the Gulf area, Florida, and the Caribbean, and then go back following the trade winds. And the gold and silver was coming out of Mexico and the Central America mainly, in the mountains there. And also they had another route like that where they would pick up Eastern jewels and treasure and bring it back, and then cross on land to the other side, the east side. Going around South America was a very hazardous trip, so they would cross the peninsula, and where they happened to be coming back was off this east coast area of Florida, and they've been hunting for the gold and keep finding it even to this day. They're still diving out there under license from the state of Florida. You can't do it as an individual. And they have found, every year they've found more and more of the treasure. And they don't know when it'll ever run out. Because they don't know where all the ships were. But this is an example of some of the things. Here are pieces of 8. And that's been cleaned up.
So this is the real, this aren't
that's real stuff.
This is the real stuff that they found.
Yeah, some of it. And that's silver. Now, silver corrodes in the ocean, and they have to clean it afterwards, and you lose some of the silver, is lost all of it. On the other hand, gold is not affected. If we come over here, gold will look just like that 200 years in the ocean. And it glitters and everything. It's a noble metal and nothing affects it. But all these other artifacts are part of the treasure and part of just the equipment of the ships. This is a bronze mortar and pestle, which is used. More jewels there and pieces of 8. This is an ingot of silver. Looks like a muffin. They call it a muffin ingot. And these are tools that were recovered. But silver sometimes is found like encrusted in coral, like that. That one piece there. And this was some of the Far East in the Orient, some of the beautiful porcelain ware. And of course they would break up in pieces, but a lot of this was quite clean and doesn't get corroded either as much as some other things. These are some of the original treasure hunters from the 40s, I believe. And these are just some more artifacts and things from the ships. A charger plate and a pewter, I would imagine. And more coins, and this is recovered from a site right where this building was where the survivors set up camp and recovered some of the treasure. But there's a lot of things that are related to the ships. And this is some Native American things from the same site on here. Well, this is certainly from the Orient, all these things. This gives you an idea of about some ships' ballast, the stones they use for ballast. Just eating utensils, work metals, what they say. Some of it was silver and gold, but a lot of pewter mainly for eating. Just what you'd find any traveling ship would.
Bunch of everything.
Yeah, a lot of things. And of course, they were always ready for war and fighting because other people wanted the treasure too. So they had cannon.
So this is an actual one of the cannons that they brought up?
Yes, this was recovered right off this beach here. The wooden carriage is a reproduction, but the cannon itself is original.
Cool.
Yeah. And this panorama here is on this site is outside here, outside the building, is where the survivors were trying to recover a lot of the treasure and survive. The mosquitoes were very bad. They used to bury themselves in the sand and just their head out at night and cover it with cloth.
To keep the mosquitoes from getting them.
Oh, yeah. Today they're been taken care of. We don't have mosquitoes. Matter of fact, I've been down here a few years and haven't ever been bitten by a mosquito.
Really?
They do a very good job. This is, of course, armor and weapons that they would have.
This is kind of what the ship
these are what the ships look like. Yeah, they're replicas of the ship. And this anchor is one of the anchors. And the interesting thing is that this is a bunch of rods that are hammered together.
Oh, really?
And are not cast in one piece.
Really?
And you can imagine hammering things like this together.
Wow.
An awful lot of work.
Silver coins. What they would do is they'd put those in the barrel, and they'd put merchandise in the barrel so they could hide it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah.
They didn't like to pay taxes back then either. Copper.
Oh, yeah.
They'd scoop out, when they were molding it and making it, they'd scoop out in the sand and just pour the copper. And they would ship those back. Artifacts, various coins.
So them ballast stones are
Those are
small
Those are real
sometimes.
small, yeah.
I thought they'd be big.
They are big. They're usually big, but
Yeah.
they're very tiny. It's not. Musket butt plate. That's a sword hilt. Put the hand in there.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You have been an excellent tour guide, man, and I appreciate it. And that's a wrap. Straight from McLarty's Museum.